YouTube! How's it going, guys? You good? I know it's been like a week or something. I'm sorry. I've been busy, okay? As you can see, we no longer have a separate system back here. It is back in there. I was going to film it, but I feel like you've seen me put the PC in there enough times. Also, I was going to do you were going to get a little product video on this super power turbo fan. I like to call it the Sucky Blowy 69,000. So you need to stick around. That'll be the next video. Anyways, I was going to do a video on that, but Nvidia surprised us with DLSS 5. And I thought I'd give you my take on it. It's probably going to be a little bit controversial, but also the other reason we're doing this video instead of this video, because obviously there's a little bit of movement around DLSS 5. Look, I know that I could push my channel by just doing a load of hate content, but hey, this is me. I just like making half decent content that's going to give someone some sort of benefit at some point, somewhere down the line. If I help one person with anything, then I feel like my job here is already done. So yeah, we're gonna have a look at DLSS 5. It also gives me an opportunity to mess about with my extremely budget chroma key screen, so you'll get to see that. Look, if you've seen the previous content where I've been chroma keyed out, this is better, okay? Baby steps. Anyways, should we jump in? What we're gonna do is we're gonna watch the official trailer from Nvidia. I'm going to try and hold on to my lunch, and then we're going to discuss the whole thing together. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it as we skip through some of Digital Foundry's footage on it, because they've got more sort of gameplay and more sort of environments and movement and stuff. So we're going to have a look at that. So yeah, without further ado, shall we hop in and have a look what's going on? Yeah, have a look at the new DLSSlop. Let's go. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share. Right, okay guys, here I am. Look, is it perfect? No. But did it save me 100 quid? Yes. And is it far better than what was here in the previous videos? I believe so. If you want to know how I managed to do it for such a small amount, it cost me 30 quid to set this up. So if you want to know how to do it on a real budget, then yeah, leave a comment down below and I'll show you. Anyways, should we hop straight into this? Right. So, no, we'll talk about it after. Obviously, I've seen a few videos of people talking about this. I agree with quite a lot of views, but I probably do have a bit of a controversial take on things. So stick around. We'll go through it, and I'll explain what I mean when I say some of the stuff that I'm going to say. It's not all hate, but yeah, we'll get onto that. I mean, this was one of the worst. This and Grace. Right, I need to just let it play, don't I? Just let it play. Let it play, and then we'll get round. I have to say it. I've got to say it right now. I have to say it right now. Yeah. I'll go through what I think is possibly happening during this presentation that I think that they did to either test the water, but also to maybe zhuzh it up a little bit to try and make it look more impressive as a thing, because they all love their AI, don't they? But anyone else think that this guy looks like Markiplier's long lost brother or something? Like, And he just, to me, he looks a little bit like Markiplier. But anyway, let's continue. Well, look, we all know that it improves Starfield, but let's be fair. It would be fucking difficult. Why does he pull a fucking face as soon as it swipes over? Now, I will say, this one kind of looks impressive because it's doing what I think it's doing. Right, so anyway, we'll get to that in a second, like, but right, anyway, pull up Digital Foundry's footage. Thank you very much. Just because they've broken it down, there's so much more that we can look at. So we're going to have a quick look out. So shout out to the Digital Foundry. Should we start with probably one of the worst situations out of all of them? Grace here. There is so much wrong with this image. I can tell you what I think they're doing. I think they're running a generative, it's kind of like a deep fake. Corridor Digital created a program to do it, and they've been messing about with stuff. So I know it's kind of possible to do it gives a very sort of deep fake AI look to the image. But I think the reason this face changes so much. Where's the swipey? Here's the swipey. Right, so let me shrink myself down a little bit so I'm out where. So yeah, obviously Grace, right? We all know that Capcom face, yada yada yada. But if you look at some of the details in this swipe past, right? Obviously, her face has changed dramatically. Her hair is changed. You know, she's gone from completely blonde, white blonde to the roots, to having dark hair, and she gets highlights. But I think there's also a reason behind that. Because I think that the model that they've trained for this particular character, there's a close up right there. Here we go. We got it up, right? Obviously let me use me as a pointer. It looks like fun. So obviously the lips here are completely different. Nose is different, and the eyes are different. Eyebrow placement, skin, the whole roots thing is a bit sketchy. But in general, like, you know, that they're the main problem here. Like, the face shape is almost identical. Let me make this big. The face shape is almost identical. And like, in a sense, the placement of it. But this is a different nose. These are different lips. And these are definitely different eyes. And let me explain where I think that those three features have come from in this situation with Grace. What I think they've used as training for whatever deepfake model that they've thrown over the top of Grace's face here. And that is this woman here, Angela St. Albano. I had a thought in my head, and I was like, oh, let me just search it up, right? Obviously, she's semi-blonde, got dark roots, but I believe that these eyes and this fucking nose, right? This is definitely the nose that they've put on there. Look at that little ball on the end there. That is this woman's nose right there. That nose there is the nose that they've put on Grace's face there. And I think it's her eyes as well. She's got big blue eyes, and I mean big blue eyes. And look at those lips. Look at the channel between the lips. Look at the size of them in comparison to the rest of her face. I think that those lips, that nose, and those eyes have come from this young lady, who is apparently the voice. So, I think that's what they've done. But I'm not completely hatred against DLSS 5, because in this, I see some stuff that is just really, genuinely, really good. Right, let me just pull up this. Even this scene, the most controversial of all scenes. Do me a favor, guys. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to just not look at the bit that we're all hating on at the minute. Just for a moment, I want you to pay attention to all of the rest of it. Like, all of the rest of it. I want you to pay attention, because I think that all of the rest of it, all of the other stuff, is the DLSS 5. And I think that for a lot of the shots that they wanted to use, it didn't quite look good enough for them. So they are also running like this weird deep fake over the top of some of the characters. I say some of the characters, and we'll get into that. But this program that changes the mouth, nose, and eyes, I think they're running on top. I think that's part of the reason they've got two 5090s in there. And I think they did this to make it look more impressive than it was going to look anyway. Just sort of zhuzh it up for the presentation, and they didn't expect this to happen, because I think they think it looked good. But this, it doesn't look good. Look, let me do something. Let me make it easier for me to explain what I'm talking about, because this is the bit I need you to stop looking at, because that's the terrible bit. That's the bit no one wants to see, right? But I want you to pay attention to the world, the outside world. Like, I'm not saying it's catastrophically different, but the way the lighting is being portrayed everywhere else in this image looks awesome, right? Look at this woman here, right? This woman here is essentially the same woman here. She's just walking a different direction. But yeah, there's so much more detail to her hands than that. But she looks freaking awesome. The back of this guy's head looks freaking awesome. Like, and it is a marketable difference between before and after in this situation. When it comes to the scenery, when it comes to what DLSS 5, it looks like DLSS 5 is actually doing with the lighting and stuff, I'm all for that. I think it looks freaking awesome. You might not like it, but from what I'm seeing right here, it is not taking away from the art style of the image. It is not taking away from any of that. This woman here still looks like she's in a video game, but it's that little bit more hyper realistic, and it looks kind of cool, right? The reflections and the lighting and stuff in the scene looks so good. The problem with the image is just literally Grace's face. But even like this, where is it? Yeah, this Sarah here. Yeah, it's like they didn't do it with her. This, that Sarah image essentially looks like Sarah, just with decent textures and less soul-destroying eyes. They're a different kind of soul-destroying, but that's by the by, right? We see Leon go from "I'm gonna stab you in the face" to "Oh, pretty kittens." That's what they did with Leon's freaking eyes. Where are they? I've got to go back for him, haven't I? Where is he? Was it just jumped out? Oh, we'll get to him in a sec. But yeah, Sarah here, right? This just looks better. I mean, we're all probably all in agreement that a lot of the Starfield stuff just looks better, and maybe it's because we're viewing this on a screen like this and it's off axis and stuff like, and it doesn't look quite as uncanny valley. But genuinely, oh, sorry, I forgot that I was just a floating head. But Sarah here, she looks good. Like, this looks good. The textures, the colors, the way the environment is produced and lit, what it is doing to the lighting, I like that. You can hate me for that as much as you want, but I like that. This, as I said, cover this bit up and the whole thing looks fucking awesome, right? The whole thing looks ace. It's just this bit, the main character face. And in almost every one of these scenes, the bit that looks shit is the main character face of every scene. We'll go through it, but I feel like there's certain ones where they're not doing as much. I don't know how to explain it, but I'll say what oh, look at this guy, yeah? Look at these eyes. These eyes are saying, I'm going to stab you in the face. You're getting it. I'll ask you the questions later. Right, that's what those eyes are saying. Oh, I'm longing for my little puppy. Going from I'm going to stab you in the face to puppies. Now, I don't think they're as egregious with this, but there's definitely some artistic shit going on over the top, and I don't like what it's doing to his eyes. Like, I don't think the rest of it looks that bad. I think it's mostly lighting with this, which is what I think the problem people are going to have, because whether you like it or not, I think that what it's doing with the environments, like here, looks better. I'm sorry, but when that DLSS 5 goes on, the scene just looks better. It looks more realistic. I like the way it looks. But yes, as you can see, 25090s running there, and I think half of that's down to the deepfake. Now this, I think they're still doing something a little bit weird, but this particular shot of Grace, I think that they got the actual DLSS 5 almost working spot on, to where they didn't really need to do much faffing about, because this literally looks like a lighting change. You can tell me that I'm wrong as much as you want. I don't care. This one does not look like it's being deep faked over. It just doesn't. I've stopped it halfway there. Perfect. Her nose hasn't changed shape. Her eyes haven't changed shape. They haven't changed size. Her mouth hasn't changed shape or size. Her eyebrows are in the same place. The only difference between one side and the other is how this one is lit. That is it. So I think this is DLSS 5. I think this is what was presented to them to present, and they've tried to zhuzh up the other ones because they didn't quite look as good as this. I feel like there's some extra shit going on top with some of the other images, whereas this one, they've kept that same sort of direction of light. Everything's kind of stayed the same. It's just richer and more lit. They've added a sheen to her skin. It's not like it's makeup, it's a sheen. It's like, you know, like when you get salty and sweaty. Yes, there's a texture to her lips here, but that's it. Like, in general, this one genuinely feels like it's possibly a little closer to what we'd see from DLSS 5. And I think Nvidia thought that they were pulling a blinder with this, thinking, oh, we'll throw the AI over the top of it and it'll look freaking awesome. No. This looks fucking awful. This, for me, don't get me wrong, have nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with the original stylized version of Grace here, not in the slightest. But if you look, she doesn't get a change in her hair. Her hair stays exactly the frickin' same, just differently lit. It doesn't change color. Her makeup, she doesn't get a load of makeup thrown on her. It just gets, she's got a little bit more zhuzhia lips, right? But they're in the same place. For me, like I said, this is closer to what their idea of what we would get from DLSS 5 is, and not what we see in the street in the previous image. But things like this, like my problem is that I really do like what it is doing to the environments. This looks freaking awesome. This lighting and stuff looks far better than what was there in the first place. I'm sorry. The neural rendering, the textures, the neural textures or whatever they're calling it, they look good. They genuinely look good. And I think when the games actually just use the DLSS 5 and the textures and the lighting, even the characters look pretty decent. But whatever bullshit that they're slapping over the top for this presentation is giving this uncanny valley bullshit. See that? They're definitely doing a little something. But if you look at the woman in the background, look at this woman. Pay zero attention to this lady up front with the bomber jacket on, even though she doesn't really look that bad with it being Starfield. But look at this woman in the back, right? You see the change in lighting of the way it works? It just looks better. And that is what I'm excited about this. Like, just the way it is improving the lighting, and it adds a little depth to the environment. What I'm not liking is this fucking AI deepfake bullshit that they're slapping over the top of shit afterwards. Like, some of these you can see. Like this guy looks this looks weird. This guy, again, look at the room. Look at the way the reflections. If you look at these cupboards, they look a little flat, these shelves and stuff, and they don't afterwards. Like, the room looks better. He looks weird. He's got this deep fake fucking AI bullshit. Slap it over the top. It's something to do with the fucking eyes, nose and mouth. I don't know, but it's fucking weird. I don't like it. This annoys me. This actually annoys me, because this is the biggest sign that they are doing some deep fake AI bullshit than there has ever been. And the reason this annoys me is because it changes the fucking lighting, and it doesn't need to. Right? Because obviously this is, see, he has got a big shadow across the front of his face here, yeah? Right? A big shadow across the front of his face here. Now, if they were just messing with lighting, he would still have that big shadow across the front of his face, because that's the direction the sun is coming from. You can see how direct it is on Sarah back there. So with her fucking death eyes right there, it's obviously coming from that side of him. So that shadow is right, and the shadow should be fucking there. And if they were just doing lighting and textures, that shadow would still be freaking there. But guess what? It's not. Why? Because they're doing some fucking deep fake bullshit over the top. Look at Sarah here. She looks fucking fantastic. Like, his jacket, his clothing, that looks good. Sarah here looks fucking fantastic. Wait till she fucking looks at the camera. She looks fucking great back there. No fucking weirdo fucking Sarah. She just looks great. But him, the face is there, which is what annoys the shit out of me the most. The fact that I don't think they're doing a whole lot to him, but I feel like they've got some fucking model that is concentrating on the main character in every scene to make it just look a little bit more, well, they think more realistic, but to us it's just looking a bit fucking uncanny valley. Do you know what I mean? And this guy is solid proof. This lighting on his face is so telling of what they're doing. So telling of what they're doing. Like, but you can see Osara back here that they don't need to do this bullshit. They could just do whatever they're doing to her, to him, and it would look better. But no, they thought it didn't look good enough, so they had to do this. That's what's pissed me off about this. There are points where this doesn't necessarily, I wouldn't know. This, the lighting doesn't look that much different, it's just brighter. There's more being revealed. Maybe that's just down to more bounces from more lighting, which means things are going to look a little bit brighter. You know, like in the middle of the day, look at it, blue skies. So, and a lot of the shadow is straight down, so it's middle of the day. So you expect it to be bright. But I love what they're doing with the lighting. I think that looks great. So I'm kind of excited for that bit. And this guy in the helmet here, he doesn't look like that deepfake bullshit. These guys here, they don't look like deepfake bullshit. They just look like well-lit characters in the game. Why? Because they're not front and center main character in the scene. So they don't get they're not getting the over the top version. It's like this. I genuinely think Sarah looks better here, and I think this is probably one of the least used AI bullshit of them all. Although maybe her face just leans into it better. But I don't think they fucked about. Did they fuck about with the shading on her face? I don't think so. They kind of kept it. Yeah. It seems like because the Starfield stuff is so much of a slap in the face impact. They're not doing it. Do you know? They don't have to do so much fucking effort with Starfield. But yeah, no, some of the shots that they're using for, you know, like the shots that they used in their trailer, they're deep faking the shit out of those shots. This looks freaking awesome. It just does. And I kind of like it with this guy because this guy just looks like he's lit. Because I don't think they could deep fake anything with him. I just don't think they could. I don't think there was any way to deep fake anything with him. So it's just lighting and textures. Like, it's just lighting and textures. That's why he, even though it looks a bit odd to you, maybe, I don't think this one's that egregious of an example. But again, these scenes just, to me, this looks better. To me, the scenes, DLSS 5 just looks so much better. It just does. And it I'm sorry to say it, but I'm not going to change my opinion. The scenes, this scenery right in front of us right now, when it's on, looks better. It just does. It's lit better. The textures look better. I kind of like the neural textures. I like the what they do with the lighting and stuff. They just need to drop the deep fake bullshit. Because all of these environments, they look really good. The lighting looks really good. It really does. But, oh, okay. Right, I remember seeing this guy. The environments just look great. But this, right? This feels like they tried to deepfake it. Like there was enough of his face for them to use their deepfake model thing over the top of it. Because this looks fucking odd. It just looks weird. maybe that's just how the character comes out, but I don't know. I feel like when he, when he blinks his eyes there, that's what deepfakes look like when, when the chick that's pretending to be some celebrity blinks or throws something in their mouth or something. That's what happens. So there's definitely something that they're doing with the eyes, nose, and mouth on all of these characters after the fact of DLSS 5. That's my I'm kind of hoping. You can call it cope as much as you want. I don't care. Right? I don't. It doesn't bother me whether this is AI or not, because I don't have to turn it on, do I? Do you know what I mean? I don't have to turn it on. But if anyone from Nvidia is watching, I'm going to say this now. There is more chance of me turning it on if you don't have the fucking deep fake bullshit AI faces on the main characters. If you light them the same way you're lighting all the background characters and all the side characters in each of these scenes, then everything's going to be fucking fine. Hunky-dory. People will like the fucking thing. But you shouldn't have slapped that fucking deep fake fucking bullshit over the top. I mean, look at the lighting on the lighting. People have said that there's no difference to the lighting. You're chatting out your friggin' arse. You're chatting out your bum bum if you think there's no friggin' difference between the lighting in this DLSS 5 on, DLSS 5 off thing. I know this got hate, but I don't actually think this one looks that bad. And I don't think that they're doing much in the way of deepfake on this guy. I think it's textures and lighting for the most part when I first saw this. I might be wrong now. I might completely change my opinion right this second, but we'll find out. Because, yeah, no. I mean, he's got his eyes drooped a little bit, but he could have blinked. Like, I don't think there's much of the deepfake stuff going on here. I think it's just literally lighting and textures. Because he does look like him. It didn't majorly change, and I think it's because it's an off shot. You can see that it's just lighting and textures as he looks over there. You can see it. I think this is one of the better showings of this technology, but the backgrounds look so good. But yeah, I don't think there's a problem with this. And I think if you've seen this guy in a game, you wouldn't think there's some deep fake bullshit going on here. It's just good lighting. Like, this one, you can hate on me for as much as you want. This one, I mean, to be fair, the game models are really pretty in the first place. Maybe they're using some deepfake stuff, but I actually don't think they are. I think it's just lighting. I think, again, in this game, it is just lighting. Just good lighting and textures. And look, we're looking at a game, but I'd date her. I would date her. I can't lie. She's a good-looking woman, but it looks like the freaking character. It's just lighting and shading. You can see it there. Like, there's no. What's missing is they haven't got this bit here that's just an unfortunate thing of traditional rendering when it comes to eye sockets and stuff. Doesn't have that. It's got different lighting and different, like, development of textures. I don't know how they're going to do it, how this neural rendering goes about, like, but and I don't think there's much difference in the face here. It's just lighting, whereas the others have looked sketchy as fuck. And I think it's because they're off axis, and I don't think they can use their model when they're off axis, so they're having to rely on what DLSS 5 looks like. But yeah, again, these environments, I just think they just look so much richer. There's more depth, there's more realism to the lighting. I just like it. I like the way what they're doing with the environments. Like, this looks so good. Like, so good. And don't get me wrong, it didn't look bad in the first place. But it looks so good with it on. Hogwarts. There's shots in this that I think look great. Like, I genuinely think look great. I think the lighting looks great. There's obviously some weird generation going on here. Fuck those. Like I said, it's early doors. I'm sorry. Does no one else think that this guy looks like fucking Markiplier? Does no one else think that this guy looks like Markiplier? Am I the only one? I don't think he looks identical. But I think he looks like he could be a non-identical twin that got lost at birth, you know? But everything, again, let me take the attention away from the bit that's distracting everyone away from what's actually good about this. Okay, so now I've removed the distraction. Now I've removed the distraction from the image. Let me just play it through and point out the stuff that I think looks great in this image, because there is plenty that looks great in this image. Firstly, we've got down here. Now, down here on this looks freaking awesome. The highlights look absolutely wicked down here. Right? It's only subtle differences, but they are there. Look at this dude's ears right here. Right? This dude's ears right here. They look freaking awesome. And like all the textures, all the clothing in this scene, all of that stuff looks freaking awesome. This guy here's skin. His skin looks fucking awesome. Everything else in the scene looks great. Why? Just why? Why did you do this? Did you genuinely think that this was going to look better than what the engine was already doing? Why did you do this? That's my only real question. Why? Does Markiplier know? He should probably put through for some royalties on this image, because I can promise you it's gone viral. Why did you do this? Why didn't you just let the engine run? Because I think half the problem is the fact that Nvidia has not let this engine just run and be what this engine is. Not let DLSS 5 show the world what it actually is, because I think they just didn't think it looked as impressive enough as they expected it to, so they opted to do this. And I think that 5090 is running some sort of, I'm going to call it a deep fake model, but in essence it's a very similar sort of thing. But like I said, Corridor Digital did something somewhat similar not long ago, which was more sort of, it's a deep fake, but it wasn't based on any particular person. They did a whole thing. They were swapping each other's faces as well, and they wanted to make it look more real. So they were trying to eradicate those nuances that come with a deep fake and stuff. And they did get quite close. So the technology is out there to be able to do it, and I think they were running something like that on top of DLSS 5 here. I think that's why it looks so fucking awful. And I think they shot themselves in the foot with it. So, yeah. There's not much else to say, really. Like, that's pretty much it. Digital Foundries, you know. Corporate gobblers. Yeah. Happy to suck the toe of Nvidia or AMD. If AMD bring out something all fancy that they want to show off, I'm sure Digital Foundry will suck on their toe as well. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, from me and Markiplier here, I will see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching. Love you, bye.
like and subscribe. Thank you.